So in this part, we are going to be changing out some very important parts of the car. So what I'm changing out right now are spark plugs. So this is my new spark plugs that I'm about to put in. These are aftermarket ones. As you can see, this bar that comes around, that is where the electrical current bridges to create a spark, right? Hence a spark plug. This is the old one. You can see it's a little bit brown around the edges, which is a good thing actually. So brown means that your fuel is burning at an appropriate rate so that you're not getting too much fuel or too much air. So too much fuel is what is called rich, and too much air is called lean, right? So you want to be somewhere in between, but if you had to choose one, always, always, always choose rich. So when you choose to be lean, which is mainly at the decision of the manufacturer, it causes your motor to run with excess heat, and that causes excess damage, right? So the last thing you want to do is cause any extra damage. So if you can see down in here, so that little bar, that little dot looking thing in the middle, that's called an electrode, right? So that's where the electricity comes out of, right? So this is the end of the spark plug. With these ones, they have a removable end for different applications, right? So I can twist this end piece off and I can put it on, say, a motorcycle, right? So every spark plug is different in its own way. So they have heat ratings, right? So basically what that means is they're designed to spark a certain amount with so much electricity, right? So this right here, if you can see that, here, let's turn it. So this right here, this leads up to your spark plug wire, right? So what happens is, as you start your car, your spark plug is inside here, right? So if you push it in, you should hear a click, right? So that means that it's locked in. It's not going anywhere, right? So now you have a solid mechanical connection between your spark plug wire and your spark plug. So as electricity flows, it flows through your spark plug, and then there's a ceramic part that surrounds the electrode, and that stops the electricity from bridging in between unneeded gaps and causing what's called a misfire. A misfire just means that it either fires at the wrong time or doesn't fire at all. So that's the last thing you want. So they coat the electrode from about 1/8 of an inch from the top all the way to the bottom, right? So if you can get it out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to reinstall this. So it's not easy. It never will be for me anyways, because my car is what is called a boxer. So the pistons go side to side, right? So most of the newer cars, they're either V6, so your spark plugs are going to be on the top like this, right? So they're going to be super easy to get to. You should be able to just pull your plugs in a line just like that. There's going to be 2 banks, and you can just pull 3 from this side, 3 from this side, put your new ones in, you're done. They're super easy to get to. They're right on top. Or another common formation in a lot of the newer cars is an inline 4. So that means that they're in a line here. The reason they do that is because it's nice and compact, and they can put it in basically any car. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go over to a toolbox over there, and I'm going to grab some grease. So you grease the threads here so that it doesn't lock up with heat, right? So when 2 pieces of metal heat up and they're locked within threads like this, they tend to seize. So basically what that means is that it causes a type of corrosion in the metal that locks this in place so that you can't unthread it. So I'm going to go get that now. All right, so I'm back with my tub of grease. So don't worry about getting your hands dirty, right? I've already got oil on my hands. One of the last videos. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna dip just a little bit, right? So just a little bit on your finger, and then you're gonna spread it almost in like strings until a glob comes off, right? Then you're gonna hold it like this. Don't get any on this bar or the electrode. That's bad. So what that means is that you will cause, like we talked about earlier, what's called a misfire. So you wanna keep all your grease from about the middle of the threads to this side. You don't wanna go any lower than that, just to create some sort of a, you know, security, right? So you don't want to get any closer than you have to, type of thing, right? So now that mine's down in there, I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. So what I'm using, since mine are buried, is a spark plug wrench. So what it is it just has a rubber piece in the middle there. Let's see if you can see that right there. So that rubber piece grabs onto here on the spark plug, which allows it to grip so it doesn't fall, right? So you just push it on there. 99% of spark plugs are going to be 5/8 or 13/16, which is what's called standard, right? So standard sizes are in increments of inches, right? And then metric is, honestly, I'm not really sure what it's measured off of, but all I know is that standard is in inches and metric is in whole numbers. So those go like when I was under the car, that was a 17 when we were doing the oil, the plug. So I am going to put this back in, and we are going to start the car afterwards, and we will see how it works.